Welcome back to Newsday. Thank you for staying with us. The Association of Nigerian Refineries Petroleum Marketers have called on the federal government to grant amnesty to operators of illegal oil refineries and pipeline vandals in the Niger Delta. Now, if this request is granted, it would be similar to the presidential amnesty program for ex-militants who also operated in the country's maritime domain. The association suggested establishing a presidential committee to coordinate the process, including receiving repentant illegal bunkering operators, collating their data, rehabilitation, and mapping out of programs for economic reintegration. According to national spokesperson of the association, that's Judith Umachukwu, the proposed amnesty should see the government approve modular refineries for locals in oil-producing communities. Well, Arise News analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now to discuss this call and what manner of signal this could send to those compromising the system. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale. Many thanks for joining us on this special holiday. I'm really keen on knowing your stance regarding this suggestion of amnesty.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword. We have granted amnesty to those vandalizing our oil resources before. We should assess what have we gotten out of it. Yes. At least I know that some of them who have contracts to protect our oil facilities have become so big, they are taking on the Nigerian military and Navy in several locations in the process of protecting the waterways and the delta regions. But you see, in terms of economic integration, I will welcome it. But you have to sift things out. Like they said, there should be a commission to look at the issues on the ground. Because the world is moving. And if you look to what President Trump is doing in the US, it's both a moral, economic, and political crusade. He's trying to bring manufacturing back to the US. So it means the era of globalization is gone. Free trade, unprotected trade, we are now in the era of protected trade, in which you have each nation saying me first and looking inwards and going back to manufacturing so that you give employment to your people. The trend under globalization is to outsource. You get me? You outsource to where you have cheap labor. You have cheap labor in China, you have cheap labor in India. But those two places now have become markets and have become rivals. And that is what is making the Americans to panic and to be behind. So there is a lot to learn from there. So we should not scrap them. After all, if you remember during the Civil War, when the Biafrans didn't have ammunition to be imported, they manufactured it, and we borrowed something from that. So these people, they should be sorted out, separate the wheat from the chaff. The commission should do that. And then we see what they can contribute, because the world is moving away from export-led trade to consumption economy. Produce what your people need to eat for their health and what have you. Do that first, then what the excess you can export. So, to me, it's a double-edged sword. There's a security risk, but the economic benefits are more than the risks. So let's leave it at that for now.
Apart from the environmental impact of illegal refining, as we see in some of those visuals, and some in the oil-producing area see it as a legitimate trade, as going on in their land, and they feel it's justified to a large extent. I remember about a year ago, we were looking at Obiatimi's special report when he had to go deep down into the areas where illegal refining was being taken, as a serious business. That one of the issues was that, hey, look, we're not being brought together to at least contribute our own quota and make something out of what they were doing in that regard. So what are your thoughts on
yes,
that
whether
scenario?
it is illegal refinery or whether it is foreign refinery, the pollution is ever there. Yeah, they are not monitored. But you see, I commend the local refineries or the local refiners for their ingenuity It's like making something out of nothing. The environmental issue can be sorted out, you get me, by government, providing economic environmental monitoring. Now they do it. But you cannot deny that they get some resources from it. It may not be up to what Shell and the others have, but they get a lot of resources out of it. And it's not only on this alone, on this illegal refinery. The same applies to mining, illegal mining. You see the sequence of illegal mining. It is when the terrorists come, they drive people away. They go to areas where government is absent. Government, they take over the place, they start taking taxes. Then the miners come in. And the miners to pay them some taxes. See, if government can spread this presence judiciously, optimally, and monitor our environment, these things will not happen. But essentially, with these illegal refineries, the need is for us to sort them out, legitimize them, and improve the environment, monitor them, school them where it is necessary. And we make some get productivity out of them, and the society can benefit from it.
Okay.
Yes.
Well said, Mr. Sobowale. In your initial response, you made it very clear, beautifully said as well, the balance, how it's a security risk, but there are economic benefits. Also, made a very salient point about how the era of globalization is looking like it's behind us. But I'd like to yes, ending. But I'd like to explore the possible message that this proposal might be sending to law-abiding businesses that have invested properly in this sector. How do you think it's being received, this proposal?
Well, that is the reality. They have to coexist. The law-abiding citizens, how many of them are legitimate? There is the big foreign companies. The big foreign companies. And that's why you see, you have to see this in the context of globalization coming to an end. Before, they take our raw materials, so that they take it overseas, then turn them into finished products, and we buy it back. Now, Trump is saying that Americans have lost jobs. There's an area in the U.S. they call the Rust Belt. Yeah. Those were where factories were before. They folded up. Those are the people he appealed to who voted for him, that is bringing down jobs. That's why he collapsed the entire international free trade system with tariffs. And you see, what he's saying is that everybody for himself, the devil take the hindmost. So let us learn from that and sanitize our local industries, sanitize them, clean them up, and make them produce in our environment. That is what is important.
It's a double-edged sword in this regard, but how proactive are efforts towards curbing illegal refining over time? That such a proposal is rearing its head now.
They've been doing it. You can't say it is proactive. They have been doing it. Now trying to accommodate it. Get it? It was had a stigma on it before. But now we are seeing some benefit that could accrue out of it because of the problems of the international trade arena. We should accommodate them. Although, you see, what you are thinking of is the deterrence effect. Get me? You see, there is the story of the prodigal son now. He went away, did something bad, he came back, was accommodated. But it's not, these prodigal sons now are being accommodated by international trade tariffs, development of, and the collapse of globalization. So they are important issues. And we better, Britain, all of them, they are rallying around to protect their industries now and to manufacture. The simple thing Trump is doing, you still don't get it. Outsourcing killed industries, manufacturing industries in the U.S. That means they had Ross, but they outsourced. China, into cheap labor. China, too, is manufacturing what they are manufacturing on their own soil and selling it to them. That's why they brought up the tariffs. So the world is not static, and we must borrow a leaf and clean up our own environment and improve our lot economically. That's it.
And beyond the amnesty suggestion, there is a way to regulate their activities, you think?
So,
Regulate the activities of this, just
of
bring
course,
them together.
if they are known as illegal,
that's a caveat, if they are known.
And that is why what the commission will do, that will be registered, monitor them. That is if all of them come forward, because some may be afraid that they want to arrest them.
Indeed.
So it is a development that is worth cultivating for our economic renaissance. Yeah.
Also, Mr. Sobowale, if you were, I usually ask you this question, but if you were asked to contribute a framework of how this process should unfold, what would you say should be like 3 non-negotiables when it comes to this, implementing this?
Let them go. 3 non-negotiable, put the commission on the ground.
Okay.
Give it good guidelines. You get me? To accommodate the companies that are seen to be productive or to a state, that has capacity. You need to have capacity before you accommodate it. To have capacity, then get a register out there. Then tell them to clean the environment, maybe tax them, but give them protection and let them work.
Yeah. On that note, Mr. Dayo, Sobowale, I'd like to thank you for your thoughts on those issues. Always a pleasure to have you.